Hello, my name is Gloria, and today I'm going to tell you the story of how I was deeply affected by the 2008 financial crisis. As a young business owner, I had my business going in London, Ontario in the construction industry. I had recently been able to expand into the US, start a new operation there. This was before 2008 hit. Suddenly, our business started doing poorly. We had to close off our US operations and were left with a huge amount of debt that we couldn't pay back. And I was left with no job, no income, and a family to feed that I could no longer support. Because of this, I was left extremely scared and interested in how I could best prepare for the next financial crisis, now that I want to start a new business but in a different industry. I decided to ask 3 different colleagues I have of tips and actionable items I can use. Okay, now I'm going to go talk to my finance professor, Dr. Felipe Restrepo, to see what he has to say from more of an academic perspective on the risk of a financial crisis. Let's go.
But yeah, by definition, it's very difficult to know that there's a crisis until it happens. So I wouldn't be able to do it. And I think anyone saying that they know what the next crisis is going to be and when it's going to happen, it's just basically betting like in a casino. So debt is the clear indicator that you want to look at to know at what level it becomes unbearable. I mean, it's very difficult to know an exact point. We can observe a country and maybe observe that they have a large amount of debt, but again, maybe they can live 20 more years, 30 more years, forever with that amount of debt. I am optimistic. I think things right now around the world in terms of technology, access to information, our ability to create new businesses, to invest are as good as they have been. So I think, the future is bright.
Okay, now that I've talked to Felipe, I really want to talk to Aksha, who's a BA student and might be able to build some sort of model that I can use to predict the next financial crisis. Let's see what he has to say. Do you have any sort of financial model that you could use to predict the next financial crisis?
So I agree with what Felipe said. It is really hard to build a model, but I can figure out trends, and looking at trends, see if there is a country that we are close with and that is going towards a higher trend of risk. And so for that, let me just show you what I have.
So we first selected countries that have strong trade ties with Canada. Then we plotted the rate of change of government debt to GDP for all these countries from 2005 to 2017. What you can notice is the drastic rate of change around 2008 for United States, which trickles into other countries in 2009. We forecasted this ratio 4 years from now using a moving average method in Tableau. The graph shows that with all our trade partners, China is at the highest risk as having a trend of increasing leverage, while all other countries are forecasted to have lower rates. In fact, China is predicted to potentially reach the pre-2008 rates in 2021. I would recommend to keep a close eye on our trade partnerships with China in the near future to minimize our financial vulnerabilities.
Okay, so now we're going to go talk to my friend Edward, who has a very interesting perspective on the financial crisis.
I never say that there must be another financial crisis in the future, but I also don't want to say that I'm too positive to say there is no more financial crisis. The thing is, from this graph of the world GDP growth, you can see the financial crisis is a relatively new thing, right? It only happened in the recent hundreds of years. So it means that it's not something like a law of nature that is inevitable. There must be some reasons behind it. So what is those reasons? Maybe insufficient data and transparency of the financial market. But from this graph, you can see our data growth is at a very fast speed. Storage velocity is even 9% faster than growth of the data. And from this graph, you can see the data industry is also growing at a very fast rate. So maybe in the future, when the data is sufficient enough and everyone can have the access to those data, we can have a full control of the financial market.
After speaking to my colleagues, I came up with 3 conclusions on how we could all best prepare for a future financial crisis. First of all, definitely don't put all your eggs in one basket. In the future, I'll diversify my investments to increase my financial security. Second, rely less on debt. I will use other forms of financing to have more financial flexibility and freedom. Finally, and most importantly, stay positive. As Dr. Restrepo said, we have to be confident that the future will bring better corporate, financial, and legal structures, which will help prevent a financial crisis from happening again. Thanks for allowing me to share my story. Best of luck in your endeavors, and adios!